Adding and subtracting radicals. So number 1 says, determine the value of the square root expressions. Write your answer as an exact quantity using only a single radical. We're able to add them together. So let me just jump right into it and you'll see what I mean. So let's first simplify the square root of 48. So I'm kind of breaking that up. And I'm also going to simplify the square root 75. So the square root of 48, remember I looked for the biggest perfect square that is a factor of 48. And that would be 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So that simplifies down to 4 root 3. Now 75, the biggest perfect square that goes into 75 is 25. 25 times 3 is 75. Whoops. Erase that. It's not erasing. Okay. So the square root of 25 turns into 5. And then we're left with that expression. The 6 times the 5 is going to turn into 30. So I have 30 root 3 there. This is still 4 root 3. And now we can add them together. So a 4 root 3 plus a 30 root 3 would be 34 root 3. Kind of like a 4x plus a 30x would be 34x. A 4 root 3 plus a 30 root 3 is 34 root 3. Let me show you another. So again, I'm going to break this root 18 up. I'm going to break up the root 98. 18, 9 is the biggest perfect square that goes in there. 9 times 2 is 18. So let me just finish that one. So I have 2. The square root of 9 is 3. So this is going to turn into 6 root 2. The root 98, the biggest perfect square that goes into 98, I believe, is 49. 49 times 2 is 98. So this is going to be 7 root 2. And there's no coefficient on that one. I'm just going to drop it down. 7 root 2. So 6 root 2 plus 7 root 2 is 13 root 2. Moving on to C. So I have 5. Break up 45. Break up 20. So 45, the biggest perfect square that goes in that would be 9. 9 times 5 is 45. The square root of 9, the square root of 49 is, the square root of 9 is 3. So this is going to be 5 times 3, root 5. And 5 times 3 is 15. So this is 15 root 5. Now let's deal with the 20. 20, we can do 4 and 5. Square root of 4 is 2. So this is 4 times 2 root 5. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is 8 root 5. So 15 root 5 minus 8 root 5. 15 minus 8 is 7. So 7 root 5. Let me do one more with the square roots. So the square root of 147. Ooh, that one's kind of tough. Break that one up. So I think for the biggest perfect square, and so I'm thinking like, okay, does 81 go to 147? No. Would 64? No. 7 squares 49. I believe 49 does. 49 times 3. And if you didn't know that, you can do 147 divided by 49. It's 3, so I know 49 and then 3. So this is going to be 7 root 3. With 12, I think we can just do 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So the square root 4 turns into a 2. So this is going to be 5 times 2 is 10. 10 root 3. So I have 7 root 3 plus 10 root 3 is 17 root 3. Okay, so that's with the square root. So let me show you a few with the cube roots. Just try a few with the cube roots. Okay, so same thing, except now we're using cube root expressions. So I got the cube root of 432. I'm going to do B and D. I'll let you guys do A and C. So the cube root of 432, so let's break that up. We're also going to break up this one. So the biggest perfect cube that goes in a 432, cube root's a little harder. I wrote them out here. So I'm thinking, okay, 432, 343 wouldn't be a factor. 216 would. 216 times 2 is 432. So 216 I'm going to use times 2. The square root of 200, I mean, the cube root of 216 is 6. So it's going to turn into 6 root 2. Now the cube root of 54, the biggest perfect cube that goes in that is 27. 27 times 2 is 54. Cube root of 27 is 3. So it's going to be a 3, whoops, cube root 2. So a 6 cube root 2 plus a 3 cube root 2 would be 9 cube root 2. Let me just do one more. I'm going to do D. So 5. Break up the 24. Break up the 375. So 24, the biggest cube root that goes into 24 would just be 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So this would be, the cube root of 8 is 2. So this 5 times 2 is going to be 10 cube root 3. Now the 375, I think we can do 125 times 3. The cube root of 125 is 5. So I'm just going to rewrite that there because there's nothing to multiply that 5 by. So I have a 10 cube root 3 minus a 5. Whoops. Cube root 3 would be 10 minus 5 is just 5. So 5 cube root 3. And that's all there is to it. So I'll let you do the rest.